G'day, weekly waffle time. We are so busy because we've got 10 races to review, not 8, that I've hardly got time to say g'day to the man who would be the voice of reason, General Rayleigh, 19 first, Danny Power.
Doesn't matter, I only watched 8.
You only watched 8 of the 10?
So there's 2 I'm not going to participate.
We'll find out the 2 that he missed out on. Saw him fair. I think I had about 5 or 6 on top, but just didn't stake right. So, bottom line is, punters, you've got to get the right, you've got to shot properly.
So you hit the wall.
Hey?
You hit the wall.
Well, the streak
15
ended.
weeks of profit.
Streak ended, 6 in a row ended, but we got the first one right. High pressure 2-year-old race won by Lady Lakshmi. The Bright Oak Stable's got its eye in.
Has it?
Yes. Yeah, it had a winner at Mornington as well.
Well, he's a very clever trainer, and he's got a good right-hand man. And usually when he gets a horse rolling, they can hold their form.
And Lady Lakshmi, you love a bit of market love when you find one at a bit of odds. And when I posted, it was about 8s, and then it just kept on getting backed in on the day. So it won well first up on a heavy track over 1,000, but it was able to progress over 1,400. So the high pressure sorted out a few here. I do like the work of Riverina Red, the way it worked home. In the second race over 1,400 metres, well, the best horse is Ava's Delight. It just needs to show a bit of gate speed.
I didn't see this race. This is the one I missed.
Okay. Well, Catered, this is a high pressure race. Cated's got... It won a rubbish race at Sandown, but with a nice little turn of foot at the end, and that's all it's got. It was able to show that turn of foot, whereas Ava's Delight was ducking and weaving, and it didn't have the gate speed, and it carried 4 kilos more than it. Ava's Delight could win the final. It could be the one to follow out of this on a pretty plain race. I wouldn't be too worried about the ones working home because the pressure was high, and the perfect offerings of the world, they'll just send you broke. The third race, he's a good horse. This is Caldini on the way up.
Yes, I read a tweet where somebody had taken a double to win 12,000. The first winner in Brisbane, indeed.
Yeah.
And
painless.
They got their money.
Painless. You've got a very big double going there.
Very big double. Look, well done. He is a smart horse, and I think every now and again there's a winter horse that he's not a star, but there's a winter horse that you think, I think we've just seen one that'll go on. Maybe not this spring, maybe autumn next year. Pretty good horse.
Yeah, and this time of year, I try and tell people who tune in during the Spring Carnival how hard it is in the Spring Carnival. He's going to meet the same horses next start with a couple of kilos more. Who gives a stuff? I mean, he'll just beat them.
He brained them.
And he'll be $1.80 and he'll win.
Yeah, he's pretty good. It's wasn't a bad race, was it?
Aggregate around all right. Poor old Tommy.
With the jumpers sort of fitting midfield, I think they're fitting well, and they can do that in this level, can't they?
Poor old Tommy Sadler was having a bad day. He couldn't make the weight on a couple, and Brungle Cry took off too early on. He was having a bad day.
His father Shoe got caught in his ass.
But the team Sadler did well, which we'll talk about in part 2. Yeah. Now, race 4, terrific first off. She Can Skate, beating Spending, super, and good on the wheelers again.
Yeah, look, I think if that had been around Caulfield, she probably would have won by a length or so. I think, the testing straight is very hard for a speed filly like her. And it gave Spending, which is playing in the black shorts, Danny O'Brien, a chance to run her down. At Caulfield, I think she would have scampered around the turn, put a couple of lengths on and would have been no-brainer for her. But she's pretty smart, and it's great for the stable.
Yep.
Great for the stable.
High pressure out in front, super, as you said. And if you want to, one of the things that make this sport interesting to try and do your form with, there was 4 lengths between them at Caulfield.
Yeah.
She Can State was ready to go, Spending wasn't. This was Spending's grand final, as you say, back to her home track. She Can Skate goes the away thing. So there's a difference of 4 lengths, it becomes a nose.
Yeah.
That makes it
no doubt Danny, who sets his horses for his own track, would have looked at this race and said, there's a stakes race for my filly. Go to Caulfield, set her for this, but he missed. Bad luck.
But She Can Skate at Moonee Valley Caulfield isn't going to win some races if Pancho Wheeler can keep it nice and happy. The Leilani Series Heat just couldn't get Co short enough. My blue, super turn of foot, and it's got some fall through secret liaison, which was the premium mare summer form.
Run home good in this, didn't they?
Yeah. And it's one of those funny sort of days because a lot of leaders. They weren't going overly quick in most races, but the leaders were stopping. But Co was one of the few to really pick up along the rails, so extra tick there.
Yep.
Who else did it beat?
I beat Spot on Maggie, which went okay. And then we
Spot on Maggie. It is just a skunk of the highest order. So, what's it?
You don't like Maggie, eh?
Well, it's got talent. I couldn't see why Girls on Film was backed. Sometimes you take notice of market move. Other times you just got to hold your line. Girls on film won a very plain wet track race at Sandown, and all of a sudden they seat down the bottom and they truckload it. But
it was a bit of a clunk of horses in that 5th to 10th place there.
But I think that was because the speed was slow. The one who can improve is Day Eater. No market love out the back. It's got some gate speed when it gets to a mile and when it's drawn better. So I think this might be set for the final, Day Eater.
Yeah, okay.
So Moods has been setting him for these big finals days. In the 2000 race, Backstead was gallant, but this is a good horse on the way up. You talk about Caldini, but Star Rolling, it's a emerging
straight out
horse.
of a Wodonga Maiden.
Wodonga Maiden, yeah.
Straight into this. Yeah, smart. And just like the way he puts his head down, great action, well ridden. And look, I think he's come off a good pace. So, but you know, just to step into that class, you have to think Peter Morgan's not a fool, and he doesn't put horses out of their class. And I think I think this is a good horse.
He actually reminded me I was doing Carnival on RSN, and then straight after the race, I remember Oasis Dream, also at Morgan's. And he doesn't often race him, but our Oasis Dream, he threw into the stock stakes. 20 ratings points under and it won. Yeah. So when he throws one out of its class, it's a fair chance to watch. Just want to say one other thing. I didn't have it in my market. I hopefully, for those who got the Racetrack Ralphy app, you liked the information, because what I like doing is saying, well, what's the percentage play of a Wodonga Mile maiden win and its second start to a Flemington Saturday race? Pretty low, but I did emphasise the time was super. So from there, that's when you use market intelligence.
Yep.
Now the market was really behind it.
It was.
So I was going to say there was not only that to that, and the post-race interview with Craig Widdowson, is it, the co-trainer, he said, I've been telling everyone that it's improved 10 lengths. We must have told a few people because the market love said so.
Well, a couple of big punters, Bruce Matheson and his crew, they would have had a bet. Yeah,
and the ratings blokes gave it a big tick. I mean, the Wodonga win was terrific. So use the market intelligence. Conversely, I liked Witten's Delight. Betfair-itis. It was off, straight out the door.
Not off. Can't say off. Don't say off.
No, but what you can say is it looked, it probably walked to the mounting yard flat. End of prep run, it never run past a mile. It had the figures, the strongest, I mean, the handicapper says so, it had the strongest form in the race. Yet, first time, a mile at 2000, end of prep. And that's probably a bit of a sign. It wasn't set for 2000. It was McAvoy would have said, let's give it one more run, there's good prize money. Race 7 down the straight. Well, this is a pretty talented horse in
a few things I don't like about it. He gets his head up, and I don't think he wanted to hit the line as hard as he. I got a few queries on him.
Well, Lloyd Kennywell said that actually part of that is he's never sound. Now that ain't a good percentage play.
But he did. Look, it was a good win.
He's a talent.
And look, pretty strong race. Look,
they didn't go overly quick, and that suited Planet Voyage. Just honest, but just a dead set off-season horse.
Yeah.
And what it didn't help was Serene Star never got cover. Serene Star needed a solid pace and cover. Got neither. Serene Star will bounce back and win next start. It's a winner. So
I think it's got it wrong on Saturday. Still, I think it's
but that's mainly because the pressure is forced before they get to that first bend. In the Luxbet Championship Series, won by That's the One. Now be very careful here, punters. Slow pace. But all the leaders ran nowhere.
Yeah.
That's the one had that trucking run behind Felladay, Jake Noonan. Why did he go forward? So he sits 3 wide with cover, perfect, and didn't win by a lot. And the times compared to 3 other 1400 races on the day, I'm telling you, this is a big trap race.
My new 1400 metre call Flemington theory. You
cover ground. That's it. Absolutely. So the momentum horse has got amongst it. Another Prelate's looking for a mile.
An old theory, actually.
But I'll give you a big one here, punters. Extra Zero was good enough. It was against the rails, and the last 4 preparations, it's peaked third up. So it was a bit of a flat second up run, but it was good enough.
Well, you can have it. I'll have something on Blackie next time. I know he was the eye catcher, but it was a huge run. Missed the start 10.
So why won't it miss the start again next time?
Oh, it might.
Down the straight, Bello, he's a ripper. He reminds me of Pinwheel, the other Snowden horse. Carries big weight and just
tries hard. He's a sort of horse that. It's like the old Inghams. They love these horses that can win their welters.
Sports and flavour.
Yeah, they just keep winning. And like these horses pay the feed bill for these big organisations. They just keep getting their check or two every prep. That's why you can't buy the bloody things off.
And Club Command, 1400 wet track, controller speed, Magniflix Allay. I'm always wary of the back markers, but when they're a miler from 1200, smash the line, and go back to the previous race.
Yeah.
Magnifique Soleil could be the different form that smashes open the winter championships.
Yeah, okay.
Because it was a better run than any of those in the 1400 race. In the last race,
This is the other race I didn't see.
well, you missed nothing. It was the worst race in Flemington history. There you go. I've done all my research. 178 years.
I
of
did
history.
see the last 100. I saw the leader hanging out.
Well, they went 6 lengths slower than the over 700 than they did in the 2500
Yeah.
tempo. It was just walking. Somehow Stevie Baster, who's been riding terrific. Oh, did he
Got
get that one
lost.
wrong? Well, he was 1-1 outside Folger, and 200 metres later he stirred the fence looking for a run while Folger was outside. Oh, it was just a horrible race. So forget that race for a form reference. Other than me, Hungy can bounce back. That'll do for part 1. Hopefully we find them well at Moonee Valley this week.